You know that Dogen's great quest why he went to China was if he already was intrinsically Buddha nature, why did he need to practice? And then when we were chanting the identity of relative and absolute, it stuck in, because of what I was going to talk about tonight. The last paragraph stuck in my head when it says, "If you do not see the way, you do not see it even as you walk on it. When you walk the way, it is not near, it is not far. If you are deluded, you are mountains and rivers away from it. I respectfully say to those who wish to be enlightened, do not waste your time by night or day." Well, how can you not be walking the way if you are intrinsically Buddha nature? And how can you be wasting your time? It says, "Do not. I respectfully say to those who wish to be enlightened, do not waste your time by night or day." So how can you be wasting your time? How is it possible to waste your time if you are the embodiment, not even the embodiment, if you are Buddha nature manifested? There's an interesting question. It's in the sutra, so it must be it must be kosher. Right, so here's the column, which has reminded me of this whole thing. So, to make it easy, I realise when I read these koans out, if I use Japanese names, it gets really confusing, particularly if there's more than two, and there's actually three in this. So change their names to biblical names. John, Peter and Paul are called them. Okay? So John, Paul and Peter set out together to pay their respects to a Zen master. And halfway there, John drew a circle on the ground and said, if you can say something, then if you can say something, then we'll go on and see the Zen master. If you can't, we won't. Paul stepped inside the circle and sat down. And Peter made a bow. John said, if we can do it like that, there's no need for us to go and see the Zen master. And Paul said, what do you mean? We've come this far, why shouldn't we carry on? So the three of them are on their way to see a Zen master. One of them draws a circle in the ground. The second one sits in the circle, and the third one bows. So, what's this got to do with Dogen going to China and me being pushed up against the wall for saying you can't waste your time by night or day? It's connected. Anybody got any? It's not easy, I know, but if anybody's got anything to clarify?
I like what he says, like, we've gone so far, why don't we go on? You know, that's...
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they go, you know, it doesn't matter if they see the master or where this journey ends, but why not go on? Yeah.
Great, yeah, well that's part and parcel of the intention of the koan, yeah, exactly, that's right, yeah.
You've got to find out for yourself.
Pardon?
You've got to find out for yourself, I suppose.
Find out what?
Well, whatever it is you're looking for, to find your own answers.
Okay.
It's like if you're going to the theatre and somebody says, well, I've seen that plate about this, that and the other, and so I might not bother now.
So why did Paul sit inside the circle? And what did the circle mean that John drew? Why did he draw this circle?
I'd say he's saying he's the master. The circle's the absolute, the infinite.
Ah.
So we all are.
So, if the circle represented the absolute, what does that mean about the meaning of the trip?
Saying the absolute's right here. So where's it going?
Okay, you're unpicking it. You're doing good. Yeah, so he's saying, it's right here. In this, the circle's complete. Why should we carry on? It's because it's right here, right now. And the other guy, sorry, go on.
No, it's something about like transmission. It's like Buddha means Buddha, and then there's some transmission. It's not like needing the approval, or it's something like why receive, Shiho kind of thing, like what's going on there.
I'll give in.
There.
Well, I think that might be. Yeah. There's an element of that in this, I think, but I think that's a bit kind of advanced for this tone. No, you don't agree?
Oh, the whole.
Yeah, I mean, all he's basically he's drawn a circle. He sat in the circle and he's saying, actually, there's no need to go anywhere. This is fine. Everything. It's like he's saying the question that Dogen has. Everything is fine as is. So why do I need to go on a journey and see the Zen master? And the other monk bows. He kind of agrees. It's a kind of like, oh yeah, like a. And then the other one says, well, we've come this far. So Stefan says, why not carry on? So the point.
Is it like the two sides of the same coin?
Yeah.
The absolute, you don't need to go anywhere because it's right here, but the relative, well, we're on a journey to see.
Yeah, but I think the intention of the koan is to demonstrate the trick of if you're free to stay, if you feel free enough to stay and relax, you're also free enough to go.
Yeah.
So you're free. You can make a decision to stay or you can make a decision to go.
Yeah.
It's fine. Both are fine. So what John is taking Dogen's perspective. That if nothing's lacking, there's no need to go anywhere. And there's no purpose in the journey, there's no point in continuing it. But I'll use his Christian name, Paul, is a bit sharper than he says, well, if there's no goal, then the journey is the path. The journey itself is the way. It doesn't have to have, like with the arrow,
There's also the element of taking it on faith. If somebody says that everything's okay as it is, and I say Zen Master saying, well, that's okay for him. What about me? I don't know that. So the element of me says, well, I've got to find.
You've got to carry on, yeah.
Satisfy my own need.
But, sorry, go on, you go.
No, for the sake of full sentient being
This one?
is why one might pursue it.
Yeah.
Once you get beyond, once you enter into service, is why you do it. Or something like that.
Yeah. I was thinking of the more mundane question that we all have about meaning. Why are we here? What's the point? Why am I doing this? What will it lead to? Is the practice of Zen to be enlightened? All these things, all these questions that we ask. And in fact, your life and the process of it and the journey you're on is the meaning. So I think I've got a postcard on my wall and Goethe says, the meaning of life is life. So, a very ordinary everyday, we've all been sitting here this evening and we'll sit tomorrow and some of us will just sit and other people, I've said it before, that there's this idea that people who come to Zen are kind of meditative calm folk. But in fact, the people that are attracted to Zen are the people who like the idea of being quiet, of being meditative, but in fact aren't. So they need a reason to sit. The reason they come and sit is that they think there's somewhere they're going to get to, so actually sitting is a functional, worthwhile thing to do. It actually brings meaning and purpose in our lives. In fact, as the whole of Dogen is about, is that we just sit. And as soon as we alleviate our restive conscious about that we shouldn't be wasting our time, we should be doing something purposeful and meaningful. As soon as we bring that to the cushion, we're actually not then meditating. Well, we are meditating, but the phrase is like we're using our own hands to strangle ourselves. It's like trying to choke yourself with your own hands. Can we just sit for its own sake? And then, as well, if you were able to just sit for its own sake, you probably wouldn't be here. Because parallel to everything I've said, we also have to, we can't waste time by night or day. We have to struggle, we have to, as I said to somebody earlier, and I said it before, Sharon will recognise this, the Genpo used to say it, that until you've turned over every stone and had a look underneath and found that there's nothing there, then you're going to continue to need to look. And you can't gainsay that process. So it's how do we walk this path of strivelessly striving. How do we strivelessly strive? So, in order to strivelessly strive, we have to bear something really important in mind. What is the difference between an ordinary person and an ordinary person of the way? It's a really interesting and important question. What's the difference between an ordinary person and an ordinary person of the way? What is the difference between samsara and nirvana? Is there any difference? As soon as you postulate nirvana or enlightenment, you're already intrinsically saying that you are not complete. You're saying that I'm deluded. So, even the idea of a nirvana or an enlightened state is itself an extra that you're adding on that adds to the confusion of the search. So, how would you bring naturalness and spontaneity to your life without trying to do it? Because as soon as you try to be natural or spontaneous, you're not natural or spontaneous. Is that right? So you can't. How would you deal with this paradox?
Stop trying.
Stop trying. And how would you stop trying?
It's about somehow, for me, it's about trying to end that duality, that separation all the time of there being a goal and me the seeker.
Okay.
So if I can just quieten that one down.
Okay. But you don't want to set the target of, what was the phrase you used? Stop trying. Okay, because as soon as you try to stop trying, you're still trying. Oh, how do you do it?
Do you welcome the trying?
Well, welcome to the try. That's a good one. Yeah. So I am now trying.
Yeah.
At least you know. You
just do it.
You just do it. How do you just do it?
You do it.
Okay.
I think the only times where I've succeeded with that has been about just bringing attention to my life, noticing my habits and the things that I'm stuck on that constantly recur, and just actually accepting that and saying that's okay, and that has relaxed it away.
Okay.
I'd like to raise the importance of practice, actually, because in my...
Can you say that louder?
Sorry. I'd like to raise the importance of practice, because whenever somebody does something, like, I don't know, when you do, say, karate, when somebody says, forget about how to punch, forget about how to kick, just kick, without having done 10,000 kicks, I don't think that's possible. I think that probably goes for everything, like riding a bike, doing an operation, cooking, writing calligraphy. So until it becomes so natural as a part of how you live. I think for me the answer is not expecting anything, doing something without any expectation or any preconception. But until that practice or even Zen practice is there, I can't let go. So until then, and I don't know when that comes or if that actually comes at all, I think my plan is I bloody well better practice.
Well, Dalton came to the same view at the end. That we do have to practice. Maybe when you're in your coffee mood.
Possibly. I'll be like,
your last breath will be one of relief.
Practicing that.
This is what Alan Watts says. The illusion of the split of duality comes from the mind's attempt to be both itself and its idea of itself, from a fatal confusion of fact with symbol. To make an end of illusion, the mind must stop trying to act upon itself, upon its stream of experiences, from the standpoint of the idea of itself, which we call the ego. So basically saying, when we're constantly self-referencing and observing what we're doing, we're actually interfering with the stream of experience of our life. And he ends it with this, I think it's a two-line poem that nearly everybody knows, I think. Sitting quietly doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Sitting quietly doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself. I point this out not because it's at all easy, but there's a deep-rooted paradox in the whole business of spiritual growth. Because it implies that you're not perfect as you are. And you're not. How does what you are? Okay. No. I'm finished. Sorry. I suppose as soon as we live or try to do something intentionally, it's no longer natural. And that's the kind of, how do we drop all that? How do we kind of let go of that self-consciousness?
I think Dogen also said something like, the person who is free is the one who has no anxiety about imperfection.
Yeah.
So implying imperfection, but that you just, there's
It's
no
okay.
anxiety.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And isn't that great? Because who would want to be on the desert island with somebody that was perfect? Be incredibly boring, wouldn't it? I mean, imperfection is fine. Good job, eh? I'm done. Anyone?
What's the difference between an ordinary person of the way and an ordinary person?
I give it.
Me too.